These guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
Welcome back to another How About Them Celtics video. Sam and I are here recording Thursday, July 27th. And we've got a tweet. I think it's a tweet, right, that we're reacting to right now.
Tweet
about Jayson
asks
Tatum.
a big question.
Big question about Mr. Jayson Tatum. And it's peak off-season content for you. It is exactly what you would expect to see during the off-season. And we're going to take a look here. Let me make sure I have it enlarged on the screen right here so everybody can see it.
Can you hear my computer ready for blast off?
Yeah, you ready?
Yeah.
Is it freaking out? NBA Central posted this to Twitter. Name the players in this picture that Jayson Tatum is better than right now. And on the picture, on the image, Kevin Durant, Joel Embiid, Anthony Davis, Jimmy Butler, Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Devin Booker, and Damian Lillard. Those are the.
This is a great question.
I agree. Interesting that I was trying to think of who wasn't here, and I realized, okay, so we're just assuming, and this isn't me disagreeing with the assumption. Jokic and Giannis are 1-2 in the league right now.
Yeah, probably.
Right? Because they're not on the list. And everybody else on here is probably in contention for X through 3 through whatever it is. 3 through, what would this be, 13, right?
Yeah.
So that's fine. Do you want to go in order here, or do you want to say, okay, this person, like, do you want to group it off?
Why don't we both give our take?
On each player individually?
We can go one by one, sure.
Okay. Is he better than Kevin Durant right now?
I say yes, and here's why. One, I'm a massive KD guy, so this is not a bias thing. It's because he's on the court. He's healthy. Durant missed almost the entire second half of the season as a member of the Suns. Rolled his ankle in a layup line. Really just wasn't himself. Missed a lot of he missed time with Brooklyn early in the season too, right? He went out, and then Kyrie requested a trade.
I think so, yes.
These last couple seasons have not been his best in terms of health. So in Tatum, we talked about on the last podcast, is like the Iron Man. Dude just doesn't miss time.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes,
just from that alone, you have to say yes. If they're both healthy, maybe not. I trust Durant with the ball more in clutch time. You've seen him do more, or at least be more under control. That's the big knock on the Celtics I have, is that they can't win close games.
Mm-hmm.
Tatum is at the top of that, so he needs to be better. But just from an availability standpoint, yes.
I would
tend make a good point, or no?
You did. Well, it just goes back to the when healthy, because I think KD is probably better when healthy. But if you are encompassing everything, I would probably lean Tatum. I also think Tatum is probably a better defender. That's not saying KD's a bad defender.
Fair, actually.
I just think Tatum's a little bigger and stronger at this point, especially. I think the health thing is definitely something you have to factor in. So I'd probably lean Tatum, but we're talking like on a hypothetical list, they're 5 and 6, or they're 5.5 for 5A and 5B. I think that is the closest one, or one of them. I'm going to get this out of the way. If you think Damian Lillard is better than Jayson Tatum, I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry.
Okay, fair.
Do we agree? I can't imagine you would have had any contention with that, right? Like, come on. There's just no world.
No, I don't think he is. I think Tatum is the better player. I think Tatum has had more success than Lillard. He's had better teams, but he's had more success. If you really want to factor everything, the contract is better, and it will be better when he signs that Supermax.
Even right now. Like, she's just better. Like
Dame might be the worst guy on the graphic.
That's why I did him next. I don't think it's close. I guess he's in line. But are there players off this list that are better than Damian Lillard right now?
Oh, maybe.
I'm trying to think. I'm like having a blank here.
I'm trying to flip through. Okay.
Is Shea better than Dame right now?
Nah, I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe.
What about
he made first team All NBA, right?
That's what I'm saying. Donovan Mitchell. Right? This is the level we're at, right?
I'm trying to think, like, if you swap him straight up, is Cleveland better? Maybe.
Okay.
At least last year.
Yeah, no. Fair. Those are probably the two biggest ones. Ja Morant.
I feel like there's more. Maybe Ja. Yeah, I don't know. Ja's not like the craziest one to put over Dame.
There's a graphics I saw. I'm just thinking of this.
You want to talk about availability, though?
This is true. I was because I mentioned who was I even talking about? Who was one of the players I just said? Trae Young. Donovan
Shea.
Mitchell. Oh, Bradley Shea. Yes, Shea. I saw a graphic and it was do you know the flirting harassment meme?
Yes.
It
I
was
love that
like
meme. Good
Shea
meme.
Gilgeous-Alexander, 30 points, X assists, X rebounds on these splits, 10th seed, all-star first team All-NBA. 2 years ago, Bradley Beal does that same thing. Harassment, nothing, not an all-star, nothing. And I just think, obviously, the context matters. Shea was building up a young Thunder team. Bradley Beal was dragging along a desperation-filled Wizards team with higher hopes. And so narrative matters. It is what it is.
Also, there was a massive circle jerk for Bradley Beal 2 years ago, so I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, but then it
This
completely
guy's out there
died.
fighting every night, blah, blah, blah. Like, I think he missed the All-Star game and people are flipping out, and then he got
That
named
was the
as, like,
point.
an All-Star reserve.
Well, that was the point. He didn't get named for anything, and then
Did
Shea put up
make
the same.
All-Star game?
Yeah, he was first team All-NBA.
Yeah, but was he an All-Star?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I truly don't know. Obviously, you saw me say Jaren Jackson was, and he was. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't pay attention to the All-Star game. I don't.
He was an All-Star. The next most intriguing one I'd say on this list is Kawhi Leonard. I think at their peaks, probably yes, but again, I don't think it's close because Kawhi just can't stay on the court.
Yeah, Kawhi doesn't play a lot of basketball, so no.
And
He's
even
also
at
getting
their
older.
Yeah, right now at their peaks, Kawhi probably edges him, but you can't even have the conversation because
I don't know if you put Kawhi on the Celtics, if you swap them 1-for-1, if the Celtics are a better team. I think they might be worse.
Including the injury thing or like injury aside.
Literally, without it, doesn't matter.
Okay.
I think if you put Kawhi on the Celtics and you put Tatum on the Celtics, I don't think it makes a difference.
Gotcha.
In terms of a positive impact, at least. I think they're worse.
Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler's the hardest one on this list because Jimmy Butler has like 2-3 different versions of himself that you might get on any given day.
And you have to account for them all.
Even in the playoffs, you can point and be like, well, Jimmy Butler against the Celtics wasn't that great, but he also was dealing with an ankle injury that he suffered against the Knicks and never really got back from. I don't know. I'd say Tatum's better, but
I agree.
Jimmy Butler's not like the other players on this list.
Yeah.
I think Jimmy Butler's a better competitor than Tatum.
Yeah. I think Jimmy Butler is probably the best competitor on the list.
He's done more with less.
I agree. I think I'd probably put Tatum on a higher in like a top 10 rankings, but if you ask me who I'd rather have for a playoff game, right? You know what I'm saying? Like any given
But
playoff
it's tough.
game.
Tatum's been good in the playoffs too.
That's what I was gonna say.
He's
It's not like
willed
he
the
hasn't had
Celtics
his moments.
to series wins in back-to-back seasons now, both of which I thought they were dead in. And he showed up big time at the end of that Game 6 in Philly when he had a terrible game. And of course, had 51 in Game 7. And he was pretty solid throughout the Miami series before he rolled his ankle.
Yeah.
Even though they were having a massive, like, he hasn't scored in the fourth quarter the first couple games when they just weren't close games or he was getting triple teamed. And it's like, what do you want out of him?
It was tough. Anthony Davis is probably the next most interesting. Oh, we didn't answer Jimmy Butler. I'd put Tatum above him, but it's a lot to consider there.
I'd say he's above him, but again, it is a lot to consider, and recency bias makes it very difficult.
Definitely. Anthony Davis, I'd put Tatum above him. I feel pretty confident in that. I think Davis's playoffs, I think, helps the resurgence a little because he was the best defender in the NBA in the playoffs. He was phenomenal. He was great. But again, overall, can he stay healthy? Can he stay on the court? There's those questions. And I think you see that with a lot of these players. I'd probably put Tatum above AD.
I think Tatum's above AD, and here's why. I think Anthony Davis is the best number 2 in the league. And you might be saying, well, Sammy's better than LeBron, which he might be at this point, but LeBron still takes on a different type of role where he still is the number 1. He still has more responsibility in terms of handling the ball. And Davis is great in a smaller offensive role. He's versatile. He can make the 3. He can make jump shots from mid-range. He can play in the post. He can do all of it. He plays great defense. You saw him ruin the Warriors pretty much by himself defensively.
Yep.
But if you, again, pluck him and put him on the Celtics, are the Celtics better than having Tatum? I don't think so.
I agree.
And I think the Lakers would get better if you swapped him 1-for-1 too.
Absolutely, especially when you consider the games played.
Yeah, that's a factor.
What's the next most
But in fairness to Davis, he had a great playoff run. So to just go off the recency bias of that, I think it makes it tough.
Sure, I agree.
I
Devin
think
Booker.
Tatum's probably better than him.
Devin Booker.
I think he's better than Booker. I think Booker's like next to Dame as the other worst guy on the list.
Ooh.
Booker's like whatever. He had a great playoff series against Denver. He was on fire. We shot like 70%.
He had a great postseason.
Yeah.
He had a great postseason. He came down to earth a little bit, but coming down to earth with him was normal numbers. You think he's the second worst player on this list? I would rather have him.
Maybe
over
he's better
Kawhi.
than Jimmy if you
I'd
like
rather
take all forms of Jimmy into account.
I'd rather have him over Kawhi with the injuries accounted for.
Okay.
I think Devin Booker, Anthony Davis is a conversation.
Okay. I mean, I think it's
Especially with
fair.
injuries.
Booker's one of those guys where I just don't have like a major take on him either way. I don't think he's the greatest because I don't see a lot of Phoenix games.
Is he the best shooting guard in the league?
I'd say. I'm going to say yeah, but like he is.
No, he is. He is.
But I don't think the shooting guard spot is like super deep. Like who's been next behind him? Jalen?
I'd say like Shea and Donovan Mitchell.
Does Shea count? I guess so. Donovan Mitchell, yes. Yeah.
LeBron. Tatum better than LeBron right now.
That's tough too, isn't it?
It is very tough.
It's hard to say with LeBron because you don't know what you're going to get out of him next year. How many games he's going to play?
The injuries is such a big thing in this.
The injuries are actually starting to happen to him, which is weird.
Yeah. I'd put him above LeBron in the power rankings right now.
Sure. If you're going to do it, I'll get in with you.
Just barely. I think it's like, I don't know. It's close. And then last two, Luka.
No, he's not better than Luka.
Really? I thought you were going to say yes.
So. Luka's fat and everything, but Luka does crazy stuff, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd probably put Luka.
I think
above
Luka,
Tatum.
if he was on the Celtics, I think the Celtics probably win or at least get to the finals last year.
Luka's nasty.
If I'm
gross
in a close game, I'd rather have Luka.
If you replace Luka and Tatum, or you swap them, do the Celtics do they have a title right now?
They might.
Wow, interesting.
Well, think about it. Luka's great in close games.
I'm not.
The Celtics sucked in the playoffs.
I'm not saying you're wrong. Yeah, I'd probably put Luka above Tatum. The defense thing is why. The defense thing is why I question
defense is true. I feel bad. I'm not acknowledging defense as much, but I don't know. I just think the Celtics as a whole, Tatum is a big part of it, are a good defensive team enough where you might be able to get away with having Luka, or at least convince him to try a bit harder.
Sure. And then the last one is Joel Embiid. Do you think Jayson Tatum is better than Joel Embiid?
Yeah.
I think so too.
Easy.
I was hoping we'd have a disagreement here. Really?
No.
I didn't know it was going to be easy for you.
Yeah, it's easy. They always beat Philly.
I think he's better than Embiid as well.
Yeah.
So rank these 10 players.
I'm not convinced Embiid's going to be that good this year. Because they have the flop rule.
Rank these, add Giannis and Jokic in and rank the top 12.
Okay. Oh, fuck. Giannis number 1, Jokic 2.
I'd
Luka
switch them,
3.
sure.
Tatum 4. Yeah, Tatum 4. Ooh.
Okay.
Jimmy. No, I can't say Jimmy 5. This is tough. KD 5.
I'll do mine after you.
KD 5.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron 6. Jimmy 7. Embiid 8. No. Davis. Embiid 8. Davis 9. Booker 10. Dame 11. Kawhi. Kawhi over Dame. Sorry, I forgot about him.
Embiid 8 is nuts. That's crazy to me.
Dude, I don't know. Embiid's fine. He's fine.
My 12. I'll give you my 12. Jokic 1, Giannis 2. Luka 3. Tatum 4. Durant 5, Embiid 6. Then who am I missing? 6.
LeBron, Jimmy were my
I'll
next
go
two.
Jimmy
Davis.
7. I'll go Jimmy 7. Then LeBron. Then Book. Then Davis. Then Kawhi. Then Dame. Yeah,
I hate things
I'll roll
like
with
this. I can't believe
I
I
know you
suggested this video.
Yeah, this was your idea. What are we doing?
Yeah, this was my idea.
All right, so we both had Tatum at 4. I think you could flip him with either of like KD, and we can argue about the Butler and Embiid's too. But I think he's around 4 through 7, 4 through 8. He's a top 10 player. I don't think that should be an argument. But thank y'all for watching. Thank you for subscribing if you have, and if you haven't, subscribe to How About Them Celtics, and I'll let Sam take us out.
Yeah, subscribe, like Jack said. You can find us on Spotify and Apple as well. Make sure you follow us there. Leave a nice 5-star review about our podcast. You can follow us on social at How About Them C's, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Facebook is just the name of the podcast. You can follow Jack on Twitter at JackSimoneNBA. You can follow me at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.
Tic-tac